Every company says they want an AI assistant. What they usually mean is answers without digging. Because right now, your knowledge is scattered. Policies live in PDFs, decisions live in decks, customer context is inside CRM notes, numbers are locked in dashboards, and the exceptions are usually in someone's head. So the real problem isn't that information doesn't exist, it's that it's hard to access it quickly, reliably, and in the exact context you need. When businesses ask for an AI assistant, it typically falls into three modes. First, an assistant that chats with your documents. Second, an assistant that answers questions from your business data, like SQL. And third, the most useful one, a hybrid that combines both. Because a strong assistant isn't just conversational, it's connected to your knowledge and your systems. Let's start with the most common one, the document assistant. The simplest way to explain it is this. You're building a meaning-based search engine and then adding a chat interface on top. Instead of searching for keywords, you search by intent. So when someone asks a question, the assistant pulls the most relevant parts of your internal content and uses that as the basis for the answer. This is how you go from "it's somewhere in that PDF" to "here's the answer" in 10 seconds. Under the hood, this usually comes down to 4 building blocks. 1. Extract text from your files like PDFs, docs, and internal pages. 2. Break large documents into smaller chunks so they're usable. 3. Generate embeddings, basically turning content into a format machine can compare by meaning. And 4. Store all of that in a vector database so retrieval is fast. That's the foundation, but the real difference comes next. This is where many assistants fail, retrieval quality. If retrieval is weak, the assistant feels like it's guessing. If retrieval is strong, it feels intelligent. A basic setup retrieves the closest matches to your question, but a better setup avoids pulling repetitive content and instead brings a broader set of relevant information. You can also filter by context, like department, project, or document type, so the assistant stays grounded and doesn't mix unrelated information. And for long document types, you can compress what was retrieved, so the assistant uses only the most useful parts instead of flooding the prompt. So the goal isn't AI that talks, it's AI that retrieves correctly. There's one more piece that makes it feel real, conversation flow. A business assistant needs to handle follow-ups. It needs to remember what you're talking about. And it needs to stay inside the same context instead of jumping around. That's what makes it usable in meetings and day-to-day work, not just as a one-off demo. Now let's talk about the second mode, assistants connected to business data. Documents tell you what should happen. Databases tell you what did happen. When an assistant is integrated with SQL or internal systems, it can answer questions like performance summaries, region-wise movement, pipeline changes, operational trends, without someone exporting reports or building new dashboards for every question. The flow is simple. Question comes in, a query runs, results come back, and the assistant explains it in plain language. This is where an assistant starts driving decisions, not just saving time. But this is also where you need guardrails, because in business, a wrong answer is worse than no answer. So teams add constraints, clear schema context, rules around what can and cannot be queried, and partners that keep the assistant consistent. You can also train it on the way your organization asks questions, so it doesn't behave like a generic chatbot, but like a business tool. This is the difference between interesting and trustworthy. Now the production reality check. Demos are easy. Production is control. For internal assistants, you need permissions. Who can see what? For customer-facing assistants, you need boundaries. What it can and cannot use. And in both cases, you need governance, evaluation, monitoring, and improvement over time. Because it sounded right is not a quality metric. At Corico, we help teams build both. Internal assistants for employees and customer-facing assistants for support and engagement. We've delivered multiple deployments across multiple industries, and the pattern is consistent. Design the right assistant type, build retrieval that stays grounded, add guardrails for reliability, and ship it with security and governance in place. If you want an assistant that's useful beyond the demo, that's exactly what we build. Links are in the description.